You've probably read the listicles. Feed them twice a day, take them for walks, give them love, and sure, that's fine. But if that's all you know about owning a Dachshund, you are setting yourself up for a dog that destroys your furniture, ignores every command you give, and ends up with a broken back before age 7. There are 3 things that genuinely determine whether your Dachshund lives a long, happy, healthy life, or whether you spend years dealing with problems that almost every owner runs into but almost no one sees coming. These aren't brush their teeth tips. These are the things that vets, experienced breeders, and Dachshund rescue workers wish they could tell every new owner before it's too late. Stay with me. These will surprise you. Number 1, the moment that breaks their back isn't what you think it is. Everyone who owns a Dachshund has heard some version of this warning. Be careful with their back. Maybe your vet mentioned it, maybe you read it online, and so you do the responsible thing. You buy a ramp for the couch, you don't let them jump off the bed, you keep the leash relaxed on walks. You feel good about it. But here's what almost no one tells you. The most dangerous moment in your Dachshund's day isn't the jump, it's the greeting. Every single time you walk through your front door, there is a decent chance your Dachshund is performing a full-body, high-speed spinning launch directly at your shins. They're twisting mid-air, they're throwing their head back, they're contracting and extending their spine in a fraction of a second with the full explosive force of an animal that is, proportionally speaking, more emotionally activated than almost any other breed in existence. This is called an excitement response, and for a Dachshund, it is a spinal event. Here's why. Dachshunds have a condition called intervertebral disc disease, or IVDD. It's not a disease in the way most people picture one. It's not something they catch. It's structural. Their spinal discs are genetically predisposed to harden and calcify over time, which means they lose their shock-absorbing ability. When a hardened disc gets a sudden, violent jolt, a twist, a sharp landing, a burst of full-body excitement, it can herniate, it can rupture, and depending on where it happens, your dog can lose the use of their back legs within hours. Around 25% of Dachshunds will experience some form of IVDD in their lifetime. The number 1 trigger isn't the furniture, it's unmanaged. Repeated high-excitement physical activity. So what do you actually do about it? You train what's called a calm greeting protocol. It sounds formal, but it's simple. You stop rewarding the explosion. When you walk in the door and your Dachshund loses their mind, you don't crouch down, you don't talk in a high-pitched voice, you don't match their energy. You turn your back, you wait. You give them 0 attention until all 4 paws are on the floor and their breathing has settled. Then, and only then, you get down and greet them warmly and calmly. You also teach everyone in your household to do the same thing. Guests too, if you can manage it. This feels counterintuitive because the greeting frenzy looks like love, and it is love. Your Dachshund is genuinely overjoyed to see you. But part of owning this breed responsibly is understanding that their emotional intensity is physically dangerous for their specific body, and your job is to help them regulate it. The ramp on the couch is great. But the calm greeting protocol is the thing that actually moves the needle on IVDD risk. Start doing it this week. Number 2, your Dachshund isn't stubborn, they're scent locked. Let's talk about training, because if you've tried to train a Dachshund using standard dog training advice, you have probably walked away feeling like you got outsmarted by a sausage. You try to get them to come when called, they look at you, make direct eye contact, and then walk in the opposite direction. You try to keep them from pulling on the leash. The moment they catch an interesting smell, it's like you don't exist. People call this stubbornness. Experienced Dachshund owners know it's something else entirely. Dachshunds were bred for scent work, not in the casual way that most dogs sniff things. We're talking about a dog that was specifically developed to track a moving animal underground through a tunnel, following a scent trail that was hours old, while completely separated from its owner, with 0 guidance, making independent decisions in the dark. Think about what that actually means for training. Every other breed, your retrievers, your shepherds, your collies, was bred to look to you for direction. Their instinct is to check in. A Dachshund's instinct is the exact opposite. Their instinct is to commit to a scent and work it autonomously. Looking to you for guidance is genuinely counter-instinctual for this dog. Here's the practical consequence. Once a Dachshund enters what trainers sometimes call a scent trance, that low to the ground, nose down, locked in state, your voice does not register the same way it does for most breeds. You can say sit 15 times and get nothing, not because your dog is ignoring you, but because their brain has genuinely deprioritized auditory input in favor of olfactory processing. It's neurological, not behavioral defiance. What this means for training is that you need to break the scent lock before any command has a chance of working. The most effective way to do this is through an interrupter cue, a unique, high-value sound that you've specifically trained your dog to snap out of focus and look at you. Most trainers use a kissy sound, a specific word they never use in any other context, or a small squeaker. You pair this cue with an immediate high-value treat, real meat, not kibble, over and over until the sound itself triggers an automatic head-up response. Once you have that interrupter working, your normal training commands actually land. But if you're skipping that step and going straight to sit or come, you're issuing commands into a brain that isn't listening, and then wondering why nothing works. The other thing to understand is that Dachshunds respond to training in very short, very frequent sessions. 5 minutes, twice a day, beats 30 minutes once a day every single time with this breed. Their independence means their engagement window is short. You want to end every session while they're still interested, not after they've checked out. Leave them wanting more, and they'll come back ready to engage. Number 3. What looks like devotion is often anxiety, and ignoring it makes it worse. This is the one most owners push back on the hardest, because it challenges something that feels really good about owning a Dachshund. Your Dachshund follows you from room to room. They cry at the door when you leave. They sleep pressed against you every single night. They stare at you constantly. And it feels like the purest form of love and loyalty you've ever experienced from an animal. Some of it is. But for a significant portion of Dachshunds, what looks like devotion is actually a chronic low-grade anxiety state. And the way most owners respond to it, by providing constant reassurance, constant closeness, always letting the dog follow them, always picking them up when they whine, actually reinforces and deepens the anxiety rather than resolving it. Here's the background. Dachshunds were not bred to work alone at a distance. They were bred to hunt in packs. They are fundamentally pack-oriented animals, and their entire nervous system expects close proximity to their group. When that proximity is threatened, even for 10 minutes while you're in another room, their stress response activates. Cortisol goes up. Their body is genuinely in mild distress. If this goes unaddressed over months and years, it calcifies into full separation anxiety, a condition where your dog cannot be left alone without panic, destructive behaviour, or both. And at that stage, it's genuinely hard to treat. The counterintuitive fix is this. You have to practice separateness deliberately, while your dog is still comfortable. This doesn't mean withholding love. It means actively building your dog's tolerance for being okay on their own. You do this through what's called a boring departure protocol. When you leave the house, you don't make it an event. No long goodbyes, no telling them you love them in a concerned voice, no drawn-out last petting sessions. You pick up your keys, you walk out, that's it. Same when you come home. No big celebration, no immediate eye contact and fussing. You come in, settle yourself, and only greet your dog once they're calm. You also practice micro-separations inside the house. Put your dog in a room, close the door, come back 2 minutes later. Make it boring. Do it 10 times a day. The goal is to teach your dog's nervous system that you leave and you come back, that this is not a crisis, and that they have the capacity to rest and feel safe even when you're not in the room. A dog that can be calm by themselves isn't a dog that loves you less. It's a dog that is genuinely psychologically healthy, and it will actually deepen your bond, because the time you do spend together becomes warm and easy instead of anxious and clingy. If this video helped you see your Dachshund differently, drop a comment below telling me which of the 3 surprised you the most. And if you've got a friend who just got a Dachshund or is thinking about getting one, send them this video. The earlier they know this, the better off their dog is going to be. Hit subscribe if you want more content like this. There's a lot more coming on Dachshunds specifically. I'll see you in the next one.